Hello friends of the VisionCrypto channel. Yes, it's been a few weeks since my last video, but now I've found the time again to record a video for you. And a lot has happened in the market over the past few weeks. You can feel that sense of anticipation again. Now the bull run is really about to start. Everything is going to skyrocket, and to some extent it does feel that way, because Bitcoin is already showing some weakness. Ethereum is starting to take off now. The performance keeps improving, and some altcoins are already twitching a bit and starting to rise. Are we going to see this rotation like in the last bull runs, or is this bull run going to be completely different this time? Beyond that, we'll also talk about the current market phase. Where are we right now? Are we already in the final stages of the bull run and just fooling ourselves? Or are we in a kind of summer slump where we're actually still caught in a bear trap? We'll discuss all of this, and at the end of the video, we'll also talk about Sei. Sei is a course that is also very frequently booked by my subscribers because it's simply very exciting and still holds a lot of potential for returns. We'll talk about what kind of prices we can still expect from Sei in case the bull run actually develops the way we hope and imagine. But that's also part of risk management. If the bull run turns out differently and we're actually already in the final stages, what kind of prices should we expect from Sei then? Before we start, one thing up front. For everyone who only wants to hear what makes them feel good, that is, this coin is going to do 100x, you're in the wrong place on my channel, because here it's more about serious and maybe even a bit more conservative price predictions, not moon talk. If that's what you need, please stop watching this video now and go somewhere else. But for all of you who appreciate serious analysis, you're exactly in the right place. My name is Aryan from VisionCrypto. I hope you enjoy the video, and let's go. One thing that definitely stands out right now is Bitcoin dominance. When it drops, that's always a sign that altcoins are performing well, and that's exactly what we need to enter the altcoin season, because we all agree that Bitcoin has already done extremely well. And what more can we expect from Bitcoin? Certainly a few more percent, but getting another multiple on top of that will be difficult. That's why altcoins are starting to become interesting now, and you can already see that, for example, Ethereum is performing well and has made significant gains. Basically, if we look at the chart here, since the last bear market down here, we've had a situation where Bitcoin dominance has been steadily increasing, and that really wore down the entire market because nothing was happening with the altcoins. In fact, with a few exceptions, their prices kept falling. And here, a trend channel has formed that has been steadily rising, with only two exceptions. This was the first time during Trump's presidential election when many people were hoping that the altcoin season would finally begin and the bull run would start. We saw a drop in Bitcoin dominance, and now, once again, we're seeing the same thing. We've dropped down here again, and now many people are hoping, okay, maybe it's finally about to start, and there are even the first signs of it. Because, well, people always talk about a rotation, and many have said maybe this rotation doesn't even happen anymore. For those of you who are new, what does rotation mean? First of all the money flows into Bitcoin. That's phase number one. When Bitcoin starts to get exhausted, investors begin to take profits, and those profits are then put into Ethereum, the next safest coin. And you can already see this quite clearly, that Ethereum has really taken off since April, which means that since April we've already made an impressive 2.5 times our investment with Ethereum. And that's a pretty good indication that the rotation is starting. Profits are being taken out of Bitcoin and are now flowing into Ethereum. And when Ethereum starts to form its top, or when enough profits have been made, and 2.5 times is already a solid gain, especially for the wealthy. Because if you invest 100,000 euros and walk away with 350,000, that's a great thing. They don't need a tenfold return, and then the money moves on to the next phase, namely into these large caps. For example, I'd count XRP here, which has performed well. Cardano, Chainlink especially, you can see that it's currently doing really well, and many other large coins. And when those start to level off, then we move into the smaller coins, into the real altcoin season, where more and more small coins get pushed up, and finally, all the memes and small caps really surge, squeezing out the last profits. That's the theory. That's how it's always played out so far. But in practice, just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it will happen again. But let's put it this way. Things are looking good. You definitely have to say that. You definitely have to say that. Now let's move on to the next interesting topic, namely the emotions in the market. These are also divided into different phases, where interest in the market keeps increasing. An initial important phase is something like a bear trap, where people say, oh my God, could the bull run already be over? And no, is that it already? Where many people are deceived and then the price really takes off until you reach a state of absolute euphoria up here before the chart then drops sharply. Where are we right now? Are we now something we'll take a closer look at later? Are we now in this bear trap here, or are we, since the bull run has generally played out a bit differently so far, already on the way up because prices are now starting to rise? Please write it in the comments. Where are we? Are we still in phase 2 here? Or are we already in the last phase, phase 3? And should we expect that the bull run will be over soon? Write it down in the comments below. I would really be very interested to know. Let's take a look at how things have been in recent years. Let's take a look at the bull run from 2013 to 2015. At first, you can see relatively little interest. Then there was an initial rise, followed by this bear trap. Before things really shot up, we reached the top here, then crashed down, had a brief recovery where everyone thought the bull run was coming back, and after that we really plummeted. So how was it in 2017? Here too we first had a slow rise, then came this bear trap, and after that things really shot up. We had a sell-off, then another brief recovery where everyone thought it might continue, and after that things dropped rapidly. And in 2021, how was it then? There was already this bear trap. That was the phase when we had the corona low, and after that things shot up steeply. It went down into the bear market, and there was an extremely strong recovery where everyone said, and now Bitcoin and all the other prices are really going to rise again. There were often new highs, but it wasn't a completely new rally that shot up exorbitantly, and after that the price collapsed here as well. Where are we now? I've also marked that here. Unfortunately, my graphic didn't turn out that well, but you'll see what I'm getting at. Are we still down here in this area and heading first toward the bear trap, and then the price really shoots up afterward? Or since things have played out differently and this bull run doesn't really feel like the other bull runs, are we already moving steadily upward and then there will be a sell-off at one of these smaller lows, either there, here, or maybe there? Maybe that was the bear trap and we are actually already in the final phase of the bull run. Please let me know where you see us, what you think. I'm really interested because this is extremely important. Now let's get to Sei, which I want to discuss with you today. And yes, there will be several more coins that I'll discuss with you, looking at what price targets are still possible in this bull run if we assume we're only here and there's still a small bear trap to come. But, and this is part of risk management, what if we're all actually wrong and we've already reached the top somewhere up here? We also need to talk about which prices could become relevant for the different coins in that case, because that's simply part of risk management. And that's why I'll say it again. What I'm showing you are more realistic assessments, not 100-fold gains or anything like that. It's not going to skyrocket like crazy. If that's what you're looking for, you're in the wrong place with me. With me, it's really about providing a serious assessment of the market situation. So let's take a look at Sei right now. Before I forget, the profits you can make with crypto are, of course, only worth something if you actually keep your crypto and it doesn't get stolen from you. That's why it's always important to have a wallet, and personally I use the Tangem wallet. It's nice and small, the size of a credit card, and completely inconspicuous. You can practically take it anywhere with your wallet and you'll be completely safe. And now there are also additional rings available. That means you don't even need the card anymore, you just wear a nice ring. The whole thing is indestructible and in my opinion has an unbeatable price. Take a look down in the video description. There's a link to Tangem where you can read through everything, and you'll also save 10% on your order if you use my link. Now let's take a look at the Sei chart, which I find very interesting because there could still be a lot of potential in the price. Just to explain, according to Elliott Wave, I have two bullish forecasts for this chart. As I said, these are just forecasts for now and not fixed price targets. One is a bit more conservative, and then I have an even more bullish forecast, which is just as possible. But we still have to wait for the wave counts that will develop from this bottom. But if the bull run ends early and we have already reached the end, I also have a forecast for where the price will most likely go if the bull run is actually already over. Basically, with this particular chart, it is important to note and understand that the price action, as observed so far, has consistently formed a clear pattern of successively lower highs and correspondingly lower lows. That is fundamentally bearish. That means we have this white trend line here, which the price should definitely, first and foremost, overcoming means showing strength and standing up against it. And secondly, it should build a higher high, taking out this top from early December. Back then we were at about 74 US cents, so the price definitely needs to move above that level. If it gets rejected here or here, and that rejection is sustained, then we would have to prepare for lower prices, which in the worst case, I'm not saying I expect this, but it's part of risk management, would be between 4.5 and 6.5 US cents. So far, so good. If we can successfully overcome these two significant obstacles here and effectively break out above this established trend channel and then decisively take out this previous high, then of course more optimistic and bullish forecasts are also entirely possible for us to consider. And in this case, I assume that on the one hand, we have found our bottom here and are now moving upward in a 5-wave movement where, and here we are again, wave 3, which is thus the most important wave, is the one we are currently in. But to be honest, I'm missing the momentum. In my opinion, it should be rising more steeply, but this wave 3 would have a price target that starts at around 45 cents, but should actually move more toward 53 cents and beyond. And this trend channel runs exactly into this target zone for wave 3. After that, we might already get rejected here. That's quite possible. Or we move above this level and only get rejected afterwards, entering wave 4. How deep that will be, we'll only be able to determine once the price has reached wave 3 here. Ideally, since wave 3s can also become extremely long and bullish, the price would continue to rise here into wave 3. Then we'd see a pullback into wave 4, where we would retest this trend channel again, and then move upwards into wave 5. That would give us the first more pessimistic target. We'd then be at about $1.43, which is what the price could reach. But if we assume a much more bullish count, and as I said, we have to see how these subwaves develop. By the way, for those who subscribe to my analyses, feel free to check it out on Discord. I analyze Sei 3 times a week there, as well as many other prices. Feel free to take a look at it. And of course, you can also write in the comments which coins you'd like me to cover, but they should have been on the market for at least a year, so that there's some earlier history to look at. If I have time, I might take a look and give you some price targets, or maybe even add them to my crypto portfolio, which I analyze regularly if there's enough demand. So feel free to check that out. The link is down in the video description. And yes, if things get even more bullish, then price targets of up to around $6.40 would be possible, and maybe even more, because we could then see a wave 4 and even a wave 5. But I truly do not want to go that far yet. Rather, I genuinely think that if it manages from its current financial standpoint to steadily climb up to a price of $6.40 once again, that would still be, even pessimistically speaking, an absolutely astonishing, almost 1,900% return on investment. Seen even more pessimistically, it would still be 350%. Then I think that's already a statement you can definitely take with you. Alright, that's it for this video. As I said, I'm sorry that there haven't been any videos for such a long time. There will be more videos in the future about different coins, so it's definitely worth subscribing to the channel. Check it out on Discord. It's definitely an exciting thing, and if you want a bit of interaction, feel free to join our Telegram group as well. It's completely free, of course. It's a really good group with no arguments, where you can really exchange ideas well. I can only recommend it to everyone, and of course, don't forget to secure your crypto with the Tandem wallet. That's it for now, and I wish you all a great day. Check out my other videos. There will be a few suggestions popping up at the end. Wishing you a great time. See you in the next video, and bye.